Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on your location and at what time you are watching this particular message. Yesterday, we were talking about understanding the scammers pattern, part one, and I told us that we are going to continue with understanding the scammers pattern, part two. So I think that is what I intend to do this morning. This is morning in Nigeria. This is by my time. This is about 9 minutes past 10 a.m. So let's quickly get down to business. Now, first of all, you need to have a better understanding of online or social media. You have to have a better understanding of social media for you to be able to understand some of the things I'll be exposing this morning. Just like every land has a community, or just like every earth region has a community, in social media, you have to understand that social media is much like an online community. And scammers understood this very well. They understand that for them to thrive, for them to set up their traps and be able to make waves with it, that they need to understand what level of ground or the ground they are playing at. So understanding that social media is an online community often gives scammers a better understanding and equips them sophisticatedly on with strength towards dealing with their victims. Now, how did I achieve this? Very simple. Most of the time, they set up something on a social media. Maybe they come up with a platform, they come up with something, maybe like a kind of a name, a kind of a program telling you, for example, like Crowd One. Please, I'm very sorry I'm using Crowd One, but I have to. I'm very sorry. I wasn't involved in Crowd One. I don't know anything about it, but I'm using Crowd One because so many people who were scammed in Crowd One also told me about it. I could also use so many other ones, many other platforms. There are so many also. There is this other one, I can't remember his name again. Then what they do is most of the time you see, okay, let me quickly also use this one. That was when many years ago in 2011, when I first came into Facebook, there was this guy, AY Show. I love this guy with all my heart, and I've been following him. I've been watching all his videos, all his comedies and all that. So when I saw someone impersonating him online, I never knew it was not him. So I quickly sent friend request to this person. I sent friend request to Iniedo. I sent friend request to some other big actors and actresses then, and to which they also accepted. But I never knew that I was trading or was being connected to scammers. I thought those persons were the real owners of the accounts. Now, along the line, I want to use that of AY Show. Along the line, they started talking about giveaway. So most of the time, you always hear about this giveaway. You see it on Twitter. You see it on Facebook. You see it on YouTube. Even sometimes they even make live videos telling you how they are doing giveaways and all that. So that was what actually happened, and I quickly got connected to it. Then somehow, I began to follow this guy. We started chatting and all that. So to me, I was chatting with AY. But to him, he knows it was not AY. Before you know it, they started making giveaway. They said if you answer correctly, this and that, one question or the other, you will have the giveaway. Then eventually, I knew the answers to the questions that were being thrown out to the public. Our online public, so that's Facebook public, Then I eventually answered right. Then they said that I had won. They wrote me back through they DM'd me that I had won. Then BlackBerry was still raining, BlackBerry Q10 and HP laptop, one particular one like that, worth about 150,000 naira at the time. Then I don't want to go into the details. From there, they said they were connecting me to dispatcher riders or to the courier agent who will deliver it, and all that. So they gave me a particular number and told me to call that number, that is the courier, whatever. So eventually I called the number, and sorry, please. They took my number. They told me to give them all my numbers. So I surrendered all my numbers to them. So eventually, before they say courier agent will call me to know where they are to deliver my goods to. So eventually, somebody called me claiming to be one courier agent like that, FedEx. From there, we began a discussion. One thing led to another. They told me that AY did not pay for the delivery, that he said I was going to pay for it. And eventually I accepted. So I paid 6,500 naira as at that time for the delivery. Then along the line, the day they said they were going to deliver it, I didn't see them. When I called again, they say, oh, they had a delay, this, that, blah, blah, blah. The next thing again, that they told me that evening, on that day, I was going to get it. Then the next thing you see, around 1 o'clock, they called me that they were in Lokoja, and police held them, and they were like, they are not going to allow them to deliver it, blah, 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 blah. So many stories. You know, scammers, like as I said, scammers are not always as smart as you think they are. Fine, I know that there are well-educated scammers. I know that. As a graduate, I know that there are well-educated, sophisticated scammers. I'm aware of that. But I'm saying that most of the scammers, especially from this part of the world, most of the scammers are not as smart as you think they are. So if you start drilling them with questions, you discover that they will start eating their tongue. Eventually, the guy started telling me that if I can send them 35,000 naira, when they get to my end, they will pay me. They will give it back to me. I said, why giving it back to me when you could just give it to police and start bringing this down to me? They say, no, this and that is, in fact, different stories. That was when I said to them, I hope it is not what I'm thinking. They say, what am I thinking? I said, like as I said, I hope it is not what I am thinking. Please, I will continue with this on the second